The first time he told me he hated me, I just stood there, frozen. My hands were still wet from washing his dishes, his laundry folded neatly on the couch behind me. I thought I misheard him, because how can someone you raised, someone you gave up your whole life for, look you in the eyes and say that? My name is Lila. I am 33 years old now. I took care of my little brother, Jamie, as if he were my own son. I loved him more than anything in the world. From the day our parents died, I promised myself I would never leave him alone. I was just 18 years old when it happened. Jamie was only 4. I remember that night very clearly. I was getting ready for my senior prom. I had borrowed a simple lilac dress from my best friend. It was not expensive, but it made me feel special. I had just zipped it up, and I looked at myself in the mirror. My heart was full of hope and excitement for that night. Suddenly, the phone rang. The sound of the phone felt very loud in the quiet room. I picked it up slowly. The voice on the other side was soft but serious. It was Officer Davis. He spoke carefully, like someone who had to say sad things many times before. He told me the news that would change my life forever. Our parents had died in a car accident. I did not cry right away. My world did not break into pieces. Instead, it became very quiet inside me, like a heavy silence. It was like all the color left the room. After the funeral, many family members came to talk. They argued about who would take Jamie. They called him the boy, like he was a thing, not a little boy who needed love. Their words hurt me. But I could not let Jamie go to strangers. I was only 18, but I felt strong. I looked around the room and said, "He's staying with me." My voice was small but sure. That was the moment I became more than just a sister. I became a mother to Jamie. And I promised to protect him, no matter what. I gave up college. I had dreams, big ones. I wanted to study literature. I loved books, writing, learning. But I left all that behind. I needed to work. I needed to take care of Jamie. He was only a child, and I was all he had. I took 2 jobs, one at a small bakery in the mornings and another cleaning offices at night. We moved into a small 1-bedroom apartment. It wasn't fancy. The walls were old, and the window in the kitchen didn't close all the way. But it was ours. I gave Jamie the bed. I slept on the couch. Not just for one night. For years. I would cover myself with an old blanket and curl up, listening to his soft breathing from the next room. Sometimes he would cough or cry in his sleep. I would get up, walk to his room, and sit beside him until he calmed down. Jamie had asthma. Sometimes he would wake up gasping for air. I remember running in the dark to find his inhaler, holding his small body close, whispering, "It's okay. I'm here." He also had night terrors. He would scream in his sleep, scared of something I couldn't see. I didn't know what to do, but I stayed beside him every time. He had trouble in school too. He didn't talk much. Some kids made fun of him. I went to every parent-teacher meeting. I sat in chairs too small for me while teachers looked at me like I didn't belong. Some of them talked to me like I was just his big sister, too young, too soft, too unsure. But I didn't care. I was there for Jamie. That was enough for me. One time, Jamie came home crying. He was about 6. He said his school was having a Father-Son Day. He didn't have a dad. He asked if he could stay home. I smiled and said, "How about I go with you?" He looked up, confused. I said, "I'll wear a hat and pretend to be your dad. Just for fun." He laughed so hard his nose ran. I wiped it gently. We still have a photo from that day. He's laughing, holding my hand. I still keep it near my bed. He used to call me Lila. That was his baby word for my name, Lila. When he started kindergarten, he asked me, "Should I call you Mom now?" My heart stopped for a second. I looked at his big brown eyes and said, "You can call me anything you want. As long as you're okay." The years passed. Jamie grew taller. His voice got deeper. His hair was always messy, and he tapped his foot when he was nervous. I watched him become a quiet teenager. I kept hoping he would notice everything I had done. Maybe now, I thought, he will understand. Why we never went on trips. Why I said no to new clothes or games. Why I was always tired. But teenage boys don't think like that. They want freedom. I wanted safety. I needed to know where he was, who he was with. I needed control, even if it came from love. And that's where things started to break. One night, he came home late. He smelled like smoke, like weed. My heart sank. I didn't shout. I didn't punish him. I just looked at him and felt my throat tighten. I said, quietly, "Jamie, I've worked so hard for you. Please don't throw it all away." Then I turned around and cried. Jamie stood by the kitchen counter. He had just come home late. I was tired, but I had waited up for him. I made grilled cheese, his favorite. The smell of butter and warm bread still filled the room. I placed the plate in front of him, hoping maybe this small thing would bring him back to me. But he rolled his eyes and said, "You're not my mom, Lila. You don't get to control me." The words felt like sharp glass in my chest. I froze. My mouth opened, but no words came out. My hands were shaking. I held the edge of the table just to stay steady. He looked down, not angry, just cold. I wanted to explain. I wanted to say, "Jamie, I'm not trying to control you. I'm trying to keep you safe." I wasn't perfect. I never pretended to be. I made mistakes. I didn't always say the right things. But I gave him everything I had. I gave him my life. I missed out on dates, friendships, and holidays. I didn't travel like other girls. I didn't finish school. I didn't fall in love. While others were dancing, laughing, and living, I was working, cooking, folding clothes, and wiping tears from a small boy's face. All for him. And now, at 17 years old, he looked me in the eyes and said, calmly, "I hate you. You ruined my life." He didn't shout. He didn't cry. His voice was low, like he was just telling me what time it was. I felt the room spin. My chest hurt like someone had punched it from the inside. I stood up slowly. I picked up the sandwich I had made with love. I wrapped it and placed it in the fridge, like a robot. I didn't look at him. I didn't say a word. Then I walked to the bathroom. I shut the door. I leaned over the sink and threw up. My body couldn't hold the pain. It was too big. Too heavy. That night, I didn't check on him. I didn't remind him to brush his teeth. I didn't ask about his inhaler. For the first time in years, I locked my bedroom door. And I cried into my pillow until the sun came up. The next few weeks, we lived like ghosts. He didn't speak. I didn't ask. He left notes on the counter, "I'm going out." I ate already. I cooked dinner but didn't ask what he wanted. He ate quietly or not at all. We were two people in one home, but not a family anymore. We had become strangers, in a house built on my sacrifice. One day, a letter came in the mail. It was from Jamie's school. I opened it while making tea. The kettle was whistling softly, and the light from the window made little shadows dance on the table. I thought it would be something small, a reminder for a parent meeting or a school event. But as I read the words, my heart sank. Jamie has not been attending school for several weeks. I sat down, the paper shaking in my hand. My tea went cold. That evening, when Jamie came home, I asked him, "Why aren't you going to school?" He didn't look surprised. He didn't even look guilty. He just shrugged and said, "I didn't ask you to raise me." I froze. His words hit something deep inside me. I didn't ask you to raise me. That sentence still lives in my mind, even now. It's like a bell that rings in the quiet. And the sad part is, he was right. He never asked me. I chose him. I chose to give up everything for him. My dreams. My time. My peace. I gave him my whole heart. But in that moment, I realized he didn't choose me back. I sat in my room that night, staring at the walls. I couldn't sleep. My heart was too heavy. I thought of everything. His baby laugh. His tiny hand in mine. His voice calling me Lila. All of it felt far away now. The next morning, I did something that broke my own heart. I told Jamie to go live with Aunt Carol. He looked at me like I had slapped him. Then he yelled, louder than ever before. "You're selfish. You're just like everyone else. You're giving up on me." I took a deep breath. My voice was shaking. "No, Jamie," I said, "I'm finally choosing myself." He slammed the door. He didn't pack much, just stuffed some clothes into a bag. No goodbye. Just silence. But the silence after he left was not the same as the silence after my parents died. That silence had sadness. This one had guilt. Heavy guilt. The kind that sits in your chest and whispers, "You failed." Weeks passed. Then months. No texts. No calls. Nothing. I started therapy. I joined a small book club. I went to the beach one day. I stood by the water and looked at the waves. They kept moving. Soft, endless. I asked myself, who am I now, without him? Without being his mother, his protector? Then, one afternoon, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered. "Hey," the voice said, cracking a little. "It's me." I didn't say anything. He continued, "I found this video, from when I was 7. You dressed up as Santa." I laughed so hard I peed my pants. Still, I stayed quiet. Then he whispered, "I'm sorry." I sat down on the kitchen floor and cried. Not because he said sorry, but because, even after all the pain, it still mattered. We're not perfect now. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Jamie still lives with Aunt Carol. He's going to community college. He's trying, I think. He doesn't say much, but sometimes, he sends me small things, little signs that he remembers me. A funny meme. A photo of a sandwich he made. A song he thinks I would like. The texts are short. Just a few words. But each one feels like a tiny light in the dark. Last month, he sent one message. Just one line. Thanks for being the only one who stayed. I read it 5 times. Then I sat with my phone in my hand for a long while. My eyes filled with tears, but they were soft tears. Not heavy. Not like before. It's not a full "I'm sorry." It's not "I love you." But it's something. And right now, it's enough. Some nights, I still think about the grilled cheese I made for him. I remember the way he pushed it away. I remember the words he said to me that day. They still hurt. Love doesn't always come back the way we give it. Sometimes it's returned in pieces, slow and quiet. But then I close my eyes, and I see a little boy in Batman pajamas. He once looked up at me and whispered, "You're the best thing I have." That memory still lives in my heart. And maybe, just maybe, that little boy is still inside him. And maybe I really did raise someone strong. Someone who got lost for a while, but knew how to find his way back. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and share more emotional and inspiring stories are coming soon. Before you go, please tell me in the comments, where are you listening from? I'd really love to know.